Hi, this is Savannah Saunders from the Wonderful World of Dance, and today I am especially thrilled to be joined by Anna Muromtseva, Ukrainian ballerina who was formerly the principal dancer with the National Opera of Ukraine, who is now dancing with the Hungarian National Ballet. I have to say I have some few fond memories of my visit to the Hungarian National Ballet when I went to Budapest before COVID, in fact, and interviewed the lovely Gergely Leblanc, who has now retired, and the company's ballet director, Tamas Solimoshi, which was a really wonderful conversation. I loved my visit to the company and to the capital. But of course, there has been the devastating war in Ukraine, which has decimated the lives of so many people, including friends of mine, and has impacted the company's national ballet and their dancers. And our support goes out to all the dancers who remain either in Kiev or those like Anna, who have been forced to move and dance abroad in circumstances that they probably never, ever had imagined who could in our lifetime. It's unbelievable. So I'd love to welcome Anna and hear firsthand from the wonderful principal dancer about her time growing up and dancing in Ukraine and her journey that has taken her to Budapest. Hi, Anna.
Hello, hello. I'm very happy to hear you, to meet you.
Thank you so much. You're joining us from Budapest. You've had a long day, have you?
I'm joining you actually from Ljubljana, where I'm doing ballet stage summer intensive, 2 weeks with children from different countries. We are teaching them, organizing them. It is a wonderful company here with Denis Matvienko, his wife Anastasia, who organizing this everything. Nina Naniashvili, Stefan Favorin, teaching, and we are all in the same team doing that. It's great.
So you're passing on everything that you've learned over your career to the future generations of dancers.
Yes, and learning from such stars as Nina, Stefan, and Denis as well, for myself also as an artist.
So let's go back to the beginning of your career and tell me, when you were young, when did you first start dancing back in Ukraine, and what inspired your training?
I started ballet at 6, actually, and I went to private school, just, together with my friend, also who was doing some dancing. And after normally children in Kiev, they applied to Kiev State Ballet School. Now it's college at age of 10. And my parents, they gave me like opportunities to choose. Do I want to go there or do I want to stay in private school? And I said that I didn't made obviously choice. Do I want to be a ballerina or not yet? Because I'm only 10. That's why I stayed in private school till age of 15. And I'm very thankful to my teacher there, Tatiana. She took care of us very much. And we went to different ballet competitions. And when I saw older girls who are wearing like nice tutus, tiaras, and they were for me like already grown up big ballerinas, I was inspired by them, and I was thinking like, okay, I also want to become like that. And then to get a diploma, I applied to a state ballet school in Kiev. And after graduation, immediately I went to the company in National Opera of Ukraine.
And do you remember what it felt like as that young, newly graduated ballet dancer to walk into the company and start your company life?
Yeah, it was very nervous, a lot, I would not say, but a lot of pressure, to be honest, because you need to improve yourself, to prove yourself. And like I think my first enter on stage was 10 days after we signed the contract.
Wow.
And it was with solo role. I remember it was Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty.
That's quite the role.
Yes, yes. So we, like me and my classmates, we understood that we really need to prove ourselves, and like that, step by step. in 10 years to become the higher position.
And over the years, as you moved from the corps de ballet into the soloist role, and then on to becoming a principal, what were some of your favorite moments working with the company?
Favorite, I guess it was touring, because Kiev company, and still they're going very much to tour in Japan. And there is like incredible audience. They're real fans. They love ballet very much. They know ballet very good. And they appreciate us to come, and we appreciate as well to dance there. And always I got my like first chances, it was always have been in Japan. My first Rose Adagio, my first Nutcracker, not first Nutcracker, but Rose Adagio and Swan Lake, it was in Japan.
They
That
love ballet, don't they, out there?
they do. And they know like every production very precisely, what you need to do, where you need to do, how you need to dance. But also they like very warm audience. I remember in Osaka in NHK stage, it was incredible. It was like silence, and then in one moment like something exploded. There was so many applauses. That's why it gives me always like very warm memories to come to Japan.
And looking back at your time in Ukraine, tell me about your life with the company. What did your daily or weekly life look like when you became the principal of the company?
It now I can like, before I would say like just normal, we are doing class and rehearsals, but now when I can compare actually with the other companies working style, let's say, and repertoire in Kiev, it is like very different, because in Kiev we have every day different ballet dancing. Like on Tuesday you can have Swan Lake, on Thursday you can do Bayader, on Saturday you are doing Giselle, and on Sunday company performing even double show. In the morning Nutcracker for kids, in the evening it can be anything else. So it is very tight schedule. You need to be very flexible. You need to be able to dance with a very little number of rehearsals. You need to be able to jump in very fast. And it's given like great experience, because I had situations when I had to jump in a costume in 3 minutes and just to be a cover, or to jump in like half an hour before the show. It is almost never happens in Europe. Like, of course, it happens everywhere, but in Kiev, it could happen like twice a month, every week with you, because of this very tight repertoire, and company is working really hard. At the same time, you can get ready for touring, for example, or preparing your premiere, and you still have to do other repertoire. No one will say, okay, we don't touch you for 3 months, you just do your Aurora and we will see. That's why I can say that it gives incredible experience, which you can use like after in your, whenever you go, you can use it. And not so many dancers has such a great experience, I can say.
Now, that's an amazing experience across such a wide repertoire, and to be able to jump in like that, both physically and emotionally and artistically, that's very challenging. How did you prepare mentally and physically for those challenges?
You cannot be prepared for that, honestly. You cannot be prepared. I can say that jumping in Nutcracker, Clara, in 3 minutes, it is my worst and the greatest experience I had in my life. I will not wish it to anybody, but it was great that I had it. After that, you don't afraid of stage, you don't nervous so much. You understand that you are able to do really great, incredible things. Of course, body was in shock, so you need to know how to recover well, and you need to be very smart and to work with your mind, with your brain in studio, not to over rehearse. When it's such a tight repertoire, you need to work really smart, not to get injured and not just fall off for 1 year and not be able to dance, which I guess is the worst nightmare for every dancer.
And how do you recover? How do you take the time in such a tight schedule to be able to look after your body and protect yourself from those injuries? What's your key?
Massage, physiotherapy. Yes, working smart, not working more, working smarter. That was my really very good goal during work in Kiev, and I stay like this now. Yes, I think it is. It is how it is like that.
And it sounds like a very challenging dance life. As a principal, do you remember that moment when you were given your first principal role and what it felt like for you to finally achieve that incredible honor of your first role as a principal?
Yes, it was Nutcracker in, I think, 2015, so almost 10 years ago. It was very challenging, very nervous because it is hard choreography of Nutcracker, and music, I believe, always stronger in this big pas de deux than any choreography, whatever you do. And of course, when you dance in first your debut, everybody's coming to watch from the sides, from the audience. But I was incredibly happy, and I was very happy that I had a huge support of my ballet master. It was one ballet master. I worked with her for 10 years since I just entered the opera and till my almost very last day in Kiev. And she gave me a lot. She was like my second mother, my ballet mother. Always with me, always checking my hair, my tiara, how do I look like, my tutu. And for young artists, it is very important to have something, strong shoulder, and that you are able to ask always questions and to have your answers, who will support you always. So like this, step by step, we did every performance with her. Every principal performance, yes, she prepared with me.
Sounds like a remarkable relationship. As you say, drawing upon all of that experience that she has, being able to share that with you. That's such an amazing support to have in your career.
It is. I can say that I was really very lucky to get Raisa Hilko near me and always staying there for me, coming for my every little role I do, every big role, every middle role, for everything. Every show she was in audience, and it is really incredible. Yes, I agree.
And are there other artists within the dance world or even beyond who really inspire you or have sort of given you that inspiration beyond your wonderful ballet master?
Yes, Sylvie Guillem was always a huge inspiration for me since I was like very, very little. I still inspired how strong she is and how much freedom she had in her choices, and how she was flexible and not afraid to challenge her body, not always only in classical repertoire, but also in modern repertoire, Bejar choreography, Forsyth choreography, and how at the same time she's incredible in classical ballet. So yes, and she's a huge inspiration. Also, how she finished her career in Tokyo, also is an amazing step, because I know it is very hard for every dancer to leave the stage, to be smart, to leave it in how to say, at the normal time, let's say, when
The
it's
right time. Yeah.
the right time. Yes, the right time. So yes, she is a big inspiration still for me. When she gave this interview to Daniil, because she's doing it very rare. As we know, it is also like how she live on a farm, you know. I also, yeah, when I retire, I want to be like that for sure.
That sounds wonderful, but you've got a few more years ahead of you yet by the sounds of things. What are some of your, or what have been your favorite roles to date? What have you really loved that's special to your heart?
Like every time I'm saying that it is Sleeping Beauty, because I did like every role in there. I did Bluebird, I did Fairies, I did Aurora, I did Lilac Fairy, and as well I did guests and narrates, like everything. From very down to very up, like each role was mine. But then, like going through my career, I can say that every performance, when you rehearse, when you prepare it, it's becoming your favorite at the moment. And only like this, you can make a nice performance, and you can give emotions and feelings only with love in your heart. Whatever you do at this moment on stage, that will work.
The question that I would really love to ask you is about that moment on stage where you're performing to your adoring audience, wherever you are in the world. What does it feel like for you being on that stage? And what do you try and bring to your performances to really make them your own?
Let me to think in my head to make it. I will tell you the story that when I prepared Swan Lake in Kiev, I was thinking so much about, am I a swan? Like, can I do it or not? I was so not sure in myself. I was so not confident in myself. I was thinking like, is it good or not? Am I good enough? Will it be a good show or not? Because Swan Lake is really very, very hard performance. You need to change like from black to white, and you need to be very confident in what you're doing. And there is no place for any little mistake, even. It will be visible. And after performance, I think in 3 days or something, I got a message on Instagram from one woman who was in audience, and she said, "You know what? I left the theater, and it has been 3 days, but I still thinking about your performance. It gave me such a good feelings. It gave me so much inspiration. I left the theater with such a pure, inspired mind." And at that moment, I was thinking, okay, if I get such a feedback, even from one person from audience, that maybe I'm doing everything right, that it was right thing what I did on stage. And when already it's done, when you don't think is it good or not, when you're kind of confident, I'm just enjoying the music. Always I'm trying to enjoy the music, because it and follow the music. I believe that when there is a good maestro, good conductor, together with ballet artist, together we can make a great performance.
And is that what you love the most about dancing? Or is it more than just enjoying the music on stage? What is the most important thing? Why do you love dancing?
Because you can live different lives on stage. Today you can be Clara, tomorrow you can be Aurora, and it's totally different stories. And every time it is a different story. There will be no two same performances. Every time it's different, your feelings, your condition, it is different partner, it already different story. Sometimes it can be very love story, sometimes it can be very tragic story, but the story, like libretto, the line will be the same, but the feelings are different. And I guess it's great that during our career we can live like 1,000 different lives. For me, it is amazing.
It's such a beautiful art form, but it's also very physically challenging. And it sounds like the company life is particularly challenging for you. As a principal back in Kiev, back in 2022, do you remember sort of what you're thinking about for your future, what goals that you had at the time, you know, sort of, I guess, back in peaceful times? Were you looking forward to the next season or the next ballets? What was your life and like at the time?
I will tell you that back in 2022, especially January, February, it was very challenging for me. In January, I had 10 principal performances, and they were very different with different partners. Nutcracker, Swan Lake, Chopiniana, Gala with Corsair. It was like very, very, very tight. And it was hard for me because I had to work with different ballet master, not my second mother ballet master, but another one. It was really hard. It gave me a really hard time, unfortunately. And in January, after I did my last Swan Lake in Kiev, I was thinking that probably I'm done. Like I'm done, very done, honestly. Because I understood that after performance, I don't feel anything. I'm just empty. And on stage, I'm also trying to do my best, of course, but I don't laugh and I don't like when there is emptiness in you and you're just sitting like it's your body, not you, no feelings, nothing. And so I was thinking, yeah, like maybe it's enough. Even if ballet will finish forever in my life, maybe it is enough. I'm 28. I had 10 years of career. Like it's okay. But of course, on the news everywhere, we had these talks about what's going on. And you cannot be like out of the news, out of politics when you're living in your own country. So it became like a very anxious time, let's say. And I said, okay, I will wait a little bit. It is not the best time, you know, just to cut everything out and just to live in nowhere with like no support or anything. And yeah, by the time I had my last performance 22nd of February. And then one day war started, that's all. So it is how it is. And after that, of course, you don't think about will I dance or not. It's not about what I was thinking for sure.
And tell me about that time for you, for your company, for your family. What type of decisions and discussions were you having about your future and about what do you do next? It must have been, as you say, just so anxious of a time. What were those discussions like? What was your thinking like? And those decisions?
There was only one discussion in my family, and all that days that we had to sit in a basement or to hide in a bathroom because the wall are protected. There is only one discussion, like how to stay alive. No one is thinking like what we will dance next, will we have performances or not. It was not even about that. And it was hard for me to convince my family to leave the country because it was not easy to do. It was really hard. We had to split and then to meet in another city, because my grandmother, she was 70 years old by the time, and it was impossible for her to take a crowded train, for example. So luckily I had friends with me who helped me and my family very much, who organized, and friends in different countries. And I managed to travel them to Belgium and to leave them in Belgium. And while we were traveling, it took us 10 days. So a lot of stuff happened during that time. Anastasia and Denis Matvienko, they texted me. And because they had a lot of contacts with different theaters, they helped actually a lot of Ukrainian dancers to find a place, to find a theater, not to work, but they could organize that theaters were hosting us for some time, so we can get back in shape, so we can have a base, so we can rehearse somewhere. We have ballet masters with us because obviously it is action, very big anxiety, and you need to come back in shape somehow if you want to dance in the future. So with the help of Anastasia, I could come to Dresden. And I really thankful till the end of my days to Semper Opera Ballet. And by the time it was Aaron Watkin, artistic director. They helped us really a lot because I came with nothing. I didn't have my pointe shoes, I didn't have my tights, I didn't have my leotard, nothing. Company provided us everything, like pointe shoes, tights. Girls gave us like a lot of their stuff, so we could, dress for class. It was 3 people who were hosted in Dresden. Great company. With all my heart, I really thankful to them. Because of Aaron and his pure heart, we could continue our careers. We could dance till today. So there I stayed for 3 months, and it was like he said, I cannot give contract because all auditions were finished, of course, by the time in every theater. But he found us place to live, and he gave us a base where we could rehearse for our gala. Theater provided us costumes for galas anytime we needed. It was organized with all open heart and warmth. They hosted us, and after that I made an audition and I came to Budapest to work.
The story that you tell is one that we watched around the world in many different ways, and to hear from a dancer who's been through this themselves, it's absolutely quite shattering, and it's devastating. And the fact that you had to leave your family, and then you go to Dresden and you're back into the studio, that's physically going back in and doing what you love. But emotionally, that must have just been so very challenging. How did you deal with that sort of emotional aspect of it? Or did you just focus on getting your body back and getting back into shape and back into the studio?
I left my family with the people in Belgium who are like second family for us. We know them for 20 years. Since I was little, they hosted me in their house for summer vacation. So I was very calm and confident that my family is safe and they are taking good care of them. So I didn't worry about that very much, but I knew that I'm the only one who can find a job in Europe, because obviously when you're in the middle of a world, with a little money in your pocket, and you don't know, is this money till the end of summer or till the end of your life? Obviously, it's not even about art. You thinking like, we are people, and I want to be honest, then yes, I wanted to find a job to be able to help my family. That's why I started to get back in shape, to look for contracts, doing auditioning. And what helped me a lot is being able to come to studio anytime I want. And in studio, I was not even by myself. I was with a great support of ballet masters. For example, but that time, Olga Kostritskaya, she was in Dresden. She's very famous ballet master, worked in ABT Dresden and other companies. And she was very kind to us, and she helped me a lot. For example, I had an opportunity to rehearse Dance One with her. And I was, taking this, and every little word what was saying to us from other people, it helped. Like every little smile, every little small talk, it really helped a lot to get back, not to life, but at least to feel yourself alive, not thinking like, okay, why do I do this? Does this, of course, we had these thoughts like, does it even make sense? Do I do fondue with a turnout or without? But every day you come into studio, there is people around you, there is company around you, there is ballet masters near you, and it helped. It was like this, step by step, day by day. 2.5 years, I'm still living like this, day by day. We survived. Nice.
It's an extraordinary story, and the absolute depth of your character to be able to continue with through such adverse circumstances. It's quite incredible. And tell me about, also, if you arrive in Budapest and you join the Hungarian National Ballet, and of course you've been the principal for a number of years, but of course you've had to start almost from the beginning with the company, because of course they have a roster of their wonderful principal dancers already. Tell me about what it was like to join the company and to start this new life for yourself as an artist.
Well, first year, it will be my third season from September in Budapest already, but first season, that was hard. I will be honest. It was really very hard when you're already 29, and I have a Corp de Ballet contract, because obviously I need a job. So I was like, okay, I will prove myself in a studio. I will come and I will prove myself. I will work, because it also was after all auditions time. And by the time I came for a private audition in Budapest, they had 400 applications for a private auditioning, who wanted to come to Budapest to show themselves, to get a contract, from only Ukrainians who left the country or who stayed in Europe when war started. That's why I was really very lucky to get this contract, to get an opportunity to do an audition. And then I came already with the documents, with everything arranged. And at the age of 29, you need to start to work as you are 18 again. And of course, it's not easy. It was challenging, but I was like very, very straight in my mind why I'm doing it and what do I have to do. And everybody, like, as a ballet master, when I'm a teacher for kids, I love students who are workers, who are really motivated to work, who are really good at what they're doing, not just talented, but working with their brain. So I'm trying to work like this way as well in a studio when I'm an artist in a studio. And with the support of ballet masters, with the support of ballet director, he offered me and he wrote me in a cast of Dancing Swan Lake in Odette Odile in my first season, being in Corps. So yes, it was also challenging because it is totally new choreography by Rudy Van Dancing, which is really very challenging production. New partners, new company, everything is new. But I really enjoyed doing this performance. And I think it was success because next season I got a Nutcracker as Maria, leading role also, and a lot of demi solos. Of course, with my contract, I'm working in corps as well, which is my job, obviously. But in Budapest company, they given a lot of opportunities to everyone. So you have an opportunity to improve, to show. In Ukrainian, we would say like what you cost, but it's more about money. But and with Swan Lake and Nutcracker, I wanted to show that I'm not a only good worker in studio, because in Corps de Ballet, you need to be a good fitting in a company, just good worker. But in such roles as Odette Odile and Maria, you can show your soul, your inspiration, the art of your doing. It's not, it doesn't mean that in corps you cannot do that. Just you have bigger chance, let's say, with the principal role. And yes, I'm excited for next season, to be honest. I had to do a little surgery in June to dance better in a new season. So I'm now like recovering very hard to get back in shape, and hopefully I will be very, very ready in September.
What an extraordinary experience. And I think it takes a very strong person who has been the principal of a company, gone through what you have been through with the war, to then join in the Corps de Ballet with such an incredible work ethic, but also that taking those opportunities to bring that unique artistry and your own soul into the performances when you have the opportunity is quite extraordinary. It really is. I wonder, what do you feel that your experiences have either changed or influenced your performances, your approach to the roles? Has your experience sort of, is it influencing you sort of artistically as well as affecting your entire life?
You mean my experience of leaving Ukraine after the war?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes, for sure, yes. Before that, of course, it depends also very much the way they work in European companies, the way of rehearsals and etc. But also, I don't have this anxiety inside about what I'm doing on stage. Of course, I'm worried a little bit. If you don't worry before the stage, you don't care. It's obvious. But sometimes in Ukraine, when I danced, I could be like so stressed that I started to shake, and it was really hard, to calm yourself down and to work with cold mind. But after war started, I said to myself that honestly, and not only on stage, in real life as well, whatever happens, everything can be solved. At the moment when you're saying good morning, I'm alive, we survived this day, step by step, we becoming better. I don't have this anxiety and inside about every second of my life. And it really changed me, I can say. I don't know, better or worse, but for myself, it's better because finally, I don't stress myself so much because I did it very much. And I really wish that a lot of dancers, they can think that way positively also, that there is no reason to stress. You can just enjoy what you're doing.
It's so interesting that through the experience, something so challenging, you're able to find absolute joy um, in your performances and relieve that anxiety. I'm almost sort of slightly lost for words, in fact, because I think it's such a powerful and compelling words of wisdom for other dancers out there as well. Do you have any other sort of words of wisdom or quotes that get you through, that help keep you motivated, or as you are sort of progressing in your current life?
Well, I know that I want to dance as long as I can do it nicely. And I really put a lot of effort in what I'm doing. And I cannot say it's like thank you very much that you are calling this wisdom. It's just little things that I took out from my experience, and I think that it can be useful. But what I can say and what I'm saying like now, these days in Ljubljana to young dancers, that the first thing and the most important thing is to work with your brain. Always be smart in what you're doing. Yes, of course, physically we need to be like very ready. Ballet body need to be ready and need to be able, but everything comes from our mind. Our stress, our anxiety, our confidence on stage, our happiness, our emotions, everything comes from the brain. So I think it's the most important thing.
Such wonderful words. And looking to the future, what are your goals now in your dance life? You said you want to dance for as long as possible, but are there still ballets that you are hoping, and roles that you're hoping to perform or create? What are you sort of deeply hoping for your future and your goals?
I really hope that once in my career, I will have a chance to perform very beautiful ballet Marlin as Maria Večera. It is very Hungarian story, and I performed as a sister of Princess Stephanie last season. And I was reading a lot about the ballet, about all these connections, with each other, the characters. It is so interesting. It is incredible story, very interesting, and you really come into it. Yes, it is dark story, but also with a lot of emotions, and I believe it is very interesting for every ballerina to do such a character, such a performance. And I was watching my colleagues performing this ballet. Sometimes I was thinking like, oh, it's a shame I cannot be Rudolph. It would be so interesting to make this character. Honestly, even if it's male role, but it was the only time I was like ashamed that, oh, why I'm not a man.
It's one of my favorite ballets. It's so incredible. I'm sure you'll have the opportunity. As you say, you're so very young still, plenty of time, lots to achieve.
Thank you.
My final question, and we talked about wisdom, but for all the dancers out there those who have going through real struggles in their life, whether or not it's fleeing from a war, which is on the very extreme end of any person's experience, unfortunately, but dancers who are really facing major life challenges. What words of advice would you have for those who are finding it very, very difficult at the moment?
Everything will pass. Everything will pass. It will be one way or another, but everything what is happening for our life is really for the best. I would never think that I will leave a company in Kiev this way. I was never thinking that I will end in Budapest. It was totally not my plan. But honestly, I'm very happy at the place where I am now. It is, in all the ways, it is good. I'm close to my family because my grandmother and my mom, they're back in Ukraine already for more than a year. And anytime, if it is like really difficult situation, I can come quickly to them. They can come as quickly as it is possible, 20 hours in a bus, but still. And it is not America, because for sure, if I would end in America, I would not be able to see my family for 2 years. That's for sure. So it is incredible company with classical repertoire, which I know I can do well, and I'm fitting in a classical repertoire. So it is like the best way that could happen. It was totally not planned. I believe that if someone will look on this situation of my life, they will understand that you don't need to plan and you don't need to be anxious at all. What is going to be next? Universe prepared something for us for sure.
Well, that is an incredible piece of advice. I'm sure that will be really welcomed by many listening, not just dancers, but for all of the listeners as well, because I think people are going through very difficult times, not as difficult. I mean, everyone's situation is on the scale of very, very exceptionally difficult. So thank you very much for sharing that. I'd like to just say thank you very much for sharing your incredible story with me. And of course, and I'm sure everyone who's listening hopes that the war in the Ukraine comes to an end immediately, as it needs to, and that all the artists and people can return home to live safely and dance safely. Thank you so much, Anna, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I was really happy, and it is an honor for me to talk today and to share my story. Thank you so much.
The honor is mine, honestly. And all the listeners and those who watch the YouTube version of this interview, follow Anna on Instagram. I'm sure many of you are, but I will spell this in case you're not, because it's long. It's g.anna, Muromtseva. And as I just mentioned, you'll be able to watch this interview and see Anna on our YouTube channel and also on our website, The Wonderful World of Dance. And if you're living or visiting on holiday in the beautiful Budapest, of course, make sure that you book a ticket and see Anna perform at the beautiful Opera House, which is an absolute stunning theatre. Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you. Thank you so much.